Morning, all. All right, so we have 4 games tonight in the NHL. We have 3 of them starting at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. An hour and a half later, the 4th game gets started. So, not too bad of a night for yours truly. Starting with at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Detroit Red Wings and the Carolina Hurricanes. So I'm wearing Canes because I like their chances tonight. I think that for Detroit, they've been playing very, very well, but the Canes are at home, and they have to be looking above them at the standings and thinking we can pass Philly and we can pass the Rangers if we get things together. So they're 7-2-1 in their last 10, as are Detroit. Detroit's number one in the wild card race. They are only 1 point back of Toronto, so with a win tonight, they would pass Toronto again. Carolina is third in the Metro. Carolina 24-14-5 on the season. Detroit 23-16-5. Carolina won the first matchup December 14th by a score of 2-1. The third and final meeting will be on March the 28th. The Detroit Red Wings, their power play's 14th in the NHL. Their penalty kill's 13th. Carolina's top 10 in both categories, 4th on the power play and 7th on the penalty kill. Michael Rasmussen, in the midst of a very good season for him, 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points. Would love to see him end up with 20 goals and 40 points. Andrew Kopp's been hot recently, 8 goals, 14 assists, 22 points. And Gostisbehere has been excellent as a points producer on the Detroit Blue Line, 7 goals, 23 assists, 30 points. On the Carolina side, Teravainen, 14 goals, 11 assists, 25 points. So he's on pace for about 25 to 30 goals. Drury's been better lately too, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points. And Slavin, 4 goals, 15 assists, 19 points. Just goes out there every night and does very, very well defensively while not taking penalties doing so. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between New Jersey and Columbus. Both of these teams below the playoff line. It's not a huge surprise with Columbus. It is with the New Jersey Devils. They're 4 points back of the playoffs, those Devils, whereas Columbus is 14 points out. New Jersey 22-17-3 overall. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. Columbus 14-21-9 overall. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. So they do keep the games close. As evidenced by the season series thus far, November 21st, Columbus won 2-1. December 16th, it was a 6-3 win for New Jersey. December 27th, it took overtime for New Jersey to beat Columbus 4-3. So they shouldn't take Columbus lately. We'll see how this goes. On the power play, New Jersey's third in the NHL. Their penalty kill is only 23rd. On the Columbus side of things, their power play is 25th. Their penalty kill 18th. Kind of a surprise that their power play is as low as it is, considering they've got some pretty good offensive players. And we'll see if that number gets better in the second half of the season. For New Jersey, McLeod's been very good for them recently, 10 goals, 9 assists. Myers just returned from injury. He's played 29 games so far this season, 9 goals, 7 assists for him. And Luke Hughes, an excellent rookie who's had a harder time of it recently, 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points. So we'll see if he gets things going as he's feeling better. Apparently he's been fighting something. So on the Columbus side, Fantilli, 11 goals, 14 assists, 25 points. Very good rookie season for him. He's on pace for about 50. Marchenko, 14 goals, 10 assists, 24 points. His assists were higher than his goals at some points this year, but it does feel like Marchenko is going to be a player throughout his career that just has more goals than assists. Goodbranson, 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points. Veteran leadership on the blue line and all of that. Is he overpaid? We can have that debate another time. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Minnesota and Florida. The Wild cannot wallow at all in the loss they suffered last night. They've got to go again tonight. They are 9 points back of a playoff spot. Their GM thinks they can get there. For Florida, they're number 2 in the Atlantic. Of course, Boston won last night, so Florida trying to keep pace. They are 27-13-4 overall. They're 7-1-2 in their last 10, whereas Minnesota's 18-21-5 overall, 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. These teams met October the 12th, so right at the start of the year. 2-0 win for Minnesota on that one. They're a little different teams now than they were then. On the power play side of things, Minnesota 20th in the NHL. Their penalty kill dead last. On the Florida side, their power play 13th in the NHL. Their penalty kill is 5th. So Minnesota wants to stay out of the box, as evidenced last night by Tampa Bay going 3 for 3. Kaprizov, in the 37 games he's played, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. Those numbers aren't bad, but for Kaprizov, he's going to want those numbers to get better again in the second half of the season. Eriksson gets a goal last night. He has 18 goals, 13 assists, 31 points on the season. Brock Faber, 2 goals, 20 assists, 22 points. And the longer Bedard's out, the more attention I think Faber's going to get for potential Calder votes. We'll see. On the Florida side of things, Reinhart is having his career year. 33 goals, 23 assists, 56 points. So he could score 50 goals. He could score 55 or 60 at this rate, and he could end up with over 100 points. How do you pay the man? Barkov, 11 goals, 35 assists, 46 points. And I just mean that in that, do you pay him based on this year's numbers or do you pay him based on his career average? Barkov, 11 goals, 35 assists, 46 points. The assists are fantastic. Barkov, a good leader for that Florida team. And Forsling on the blue line, another quietly good season. 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific start between the New York Islanders and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Islanders find themselves below the playoff line by 3 points at this stage, whereas Chicago's 22 points out of the playoffs. The Islanders 19, 15, and 10 overall. They are 3, 6, and 1 in their last 10 games, whereas Chicago 13, 30, and 2, and 2 and 8 in their last 10. So this is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again April the 2nd, and this is a must-win game for the Islanders, obviously, even though we are in January. Special teams, power play, the Islanders 9th in that category. They are 29th on the penalty kill. Chicago's special teams, not great. 31st on the power play and 27th on the penalty kill, as one might expect. On the Islanders front, Barzal, 12 goals, 33 assists, 45 points. Nelson, 19 goals, 16 assists, 35 points. Both really key forwards for them. And Dobson, 6 goals, 37 assists, 43 points, putting up almost a point per game on the Islanders' blue line. Pretty impressive run so far for Dobson. On the Chicago side, who's playing is usually the question with Chicago, like which veterans are out, and usually it's most of them. Beauvillier on the season has 4 goals and 10 assists. I'm making this motion because I'm like, is Beauvillier even playing right now? Gutman, 4 goals, 4 assists. Cole Gutman gives you his whole heart every shift, every game. So even though there's not fantastic offensive numbers, I cannot not show respect for that. So Seth Jones has 11 assists. He's due for a goal. Again, if he plays, because with Chicago, most of their players are just not playing. So at any rate, we'll see what happens in these ones. Let me know your winners in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.